I hope that everybody is here. Good evening, everyone. Am I audible to everybody?
Yes,
ma'am.
So, good
Yes,
evening,
ma'am.
everyone. Thank you so much for joining. It's really wonderful to see all the participants here from different parts of the country. Before we start, I would all like you to mention your name and city in the chat box below. Could everybody please write their name and city in the chat box below? So we have people joining in from Noida and various parts of Delhi. I welcome Adarsh Kushwahana.
It's
From
Adarsh Kushwaha.
It's Adarsh. I'm so sorry. Mr. Adarsh,
Oh, no,
welcome.
fine. Thank you. Thank you so much.
It's fine. So we have Sahil from Kolkata as well.
Hi, Bara. Thank you for having me.
It's completely fine. We have Najora. I'm so sorry for my pronunciation. It's Najora from Karnataka as well. Welcome. And we have Aliza Zoya Hassan from Prayag also. And Miss Namrata from West Bengal. So I think we should all start. So, ladies and gentlemen, I again thank you all for being here. Today's session is about right to information. Right to information is your voice. You have to ask, you have to know, and you have to hold authorities responsible. So, everybody, welcome. My name is Barha Malik. I am a third year law student here at School of Law, University of Kashmir. It is a great honor for me to be present here in this session and be a co host. I am currently interning at the district court. I'm interning under Advocate Mehul Bansal as well, who is based out of Amritsar. And over the years, I've had the privilege of winning multiple debate competitions and participating in seminars across India. I am really passionate about academia and social service. I actively volunteer with NGOs, including SAYA and the NSS, the National Service Scheme. And I am also a very proud member of the research team at Canonsphere. And it is an absolute pleasure for all of us to welcome you all today's session on the topic Research Toolkit and Argument. Just please give me 1 minute, please. I'm so sorry for the interruption. I am really sorry for the interruption. So, a warm welcome to all of you, and thank you for joining us in this exciting lecture. We are delighted to see all the wonderful participation here. And your ideas, first of all, I want to tell everybody that your ideas deserve a solid foundation. And let's build arguments and stand strong together. Now, in just 16 powerful days, we are committed to transforming you into a curious leader, into a confident contributor here at Canonsphere. And by the end of this journey, you won't be just a part of this community. After you join Canonsphere, you will engage, share, and grow with purpose. And here at Canonsphere, this isn't just a mere plan. It is our promise to help you build a meaningful connections and create a lasting impact. Now we have a lot of fun facts that I would like to share with everybody. First of all, I want to talk about strong arguments. When we talk about strong arguments, we talk about a strong impact. Studies have shown that well structured arguments can increase persuasion by 70% compared to the poorly structured ones. Then, secondly, we all know that our brain loves logic. So, neuroscientists have found out that logical arguments activate the brain's prefrontal cortex and the same part that handles your decision making. Good arguments are like recipes. All you need is the right ingredients: a claim, solid evidence, clear reasoning to cook up the perfect conclusion. So, hello everybody again. I would like to reintroduce myself. I'm sorry for the interruption. So, my name is Barha Malik. To everybody who did not catch that before, I am your host for today's session. I am currently pursuing law from School of Law, University of Kashmir. And over the years, I have had the privilege of winning multiple debate competitions and participating in seminars throughout India. I am really passionate about academia and social service. I am actively volunteering with several NGOs throughout Kashmir, which include SAYA and especially the NSS, the National Service Scheme. I am also a proud member of the research department here at Canonsphere, and it is an absolute pleasure to welcome you all to today's session on the Research Toolkit, Argument and a Building Guide. About Canonsphere. At Canonsphere, we're building a dynamic space for legal minds to grow, collaborate, and thrive. How do we do that exactly? We do that through debates, moots, blogs, quizzes, and workshops. Here at Canonsphere, we foster excellence and innovation in legal education. This is why do we exactly do that? We do that to nurture future lawmakers, researchers, and change makers. Now, we have two further ventures wherein we have our Canonsphere Law Review and we have the Canon Hour. First of all, through the Canonsphere Legal Review, we contribute to meaningful legal discourse by publishing high quality, peer reviewed articles that address contemporary legal challenges. Alongside of this, we also have our Canon Hour, wherein we talk about career building and community building platforms. It connects aspiring legal professionals with curated opportunities for growth and learning. Today, everybody, it marks the beginning of an enriching learning experience that will empower you with the tools to understand, utilize, and advocate for transparency in our very own government. I would like everybody to wait till the end. If you stick till the end, we have prepared something special just for our students, a surprise perk that might include exclusive access to premium features, discounted offers, or even early entry into the upcoming programs. It is our promise to all of you that it is worth staying for. So hang on tight, stay engaged, and let's finish strong. There are incentives inside this final segment that you would not want to miss. Before we move forward, I kindly request everybody to turn on their cameras so that we can make this session more interactive and engaging for all of us. And also, please stay tuned through the end of it because at the very end, we will have a question answer session where we can talk about your doubts. Through this entire session, please feel free to note down your doubts so that towards the end we can have a very clean question answer session. Like I just said, that we have lined up two exclusive power packed sessions just for you, designed to sharpen your thinking, strengthen your arguments, and boost your bar exam preparations. So please stay tuned for the dates and get ready to dive deeper with our personal experts. So I have this honor of telling you about our speaker today. It is Advocate Ritika Tejpal. She is practicing in Punjab with over 3 years of experience at the District Court Mohali. She specializes in criminal matters and also has successfully handled various family disputes. Her extensive exposure to litigation and client advocacy has honed her skills and strengthened her expertise, making her a dynamic professional committed to delivering justice and practical legal solutions. She is extremely passionate about mentoring young minds. Ms. Ritika frequently insights. Her sessions are known for being interactive, insightful, focused, and she's focused on bridging the gap between theory and practice. Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining us today.
Pleasure to be here, Barha. Thank you so much
Yeah.
for the
We are
warm
extremely
introduction.
honored and thrilled to have you here. I personally invite you to take the floor now, take over the session. The floor is yours, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Barha. So before we begin with the agenda, guys, it's on the debates, how you guys can frame your arguments and what makes you a good speaker. Because if you want to be a lawyer, you cannot rely on only one skill. You have to be a good public speaker. You have to be good in research and writing. Primarily, today we will be targeting two aspects of being a good lawyer that relates to doing research, okay, and being a good public speaker. Before we begin with that, I hope my screen is visible. Can somebody acknowledge whether you guys can see the screen?
Yes, the screen is visible.
It's visible. Please go ahead.
Okay. So primarily, as I said, we will be discussing about the debates and arguments, how you guys can frame your arguments, how you can engage as, you know, a public speaker who would hook the interest of the audience. But the question is, why participate in debates? We know that we have to be good at arguments, we have to do legal research and writing, but why participate in these kind of competitions? Especially if you're a lawyer, what do you think? If you are a budding lawyer, I'd say. Why you guys should participate in these kind of competitions, especially debates? Can somebody answer in the chat box? What do you think, guys? Yes. Anybody? You guys can raise your hands if somebody amongst you would like to answer. Or you guys can type the number of debate competitions which you have participated in till date. You can type it in the chat box. How many debate competitions you have participated in till date? 1, 2, 3, 4. You can type it in the chat box, okay? So if we talk about the need to participate in these kind of competitions, see, primarily it will help you in the public speaking that we know, be it a debate competition, moot court competition, or any kind of competition. It will assist you in improving your critical thinking skills and courtroom confidence. Sometimes what happens is you must have observed this in the moot court competitions, especially if we talk about the very first moot, there are many law students who freeze, right? So the more you participate in these kind of competitions, you will boost your confidence. The stage for it won't be there. I can see that we have students like Kapil who has participated in 9 and there's somebody else. Kindly rename yourself with the first name. So we have students who have participated in 9 and 12 competitions. Great. So if you will keep on participating in these competitions, it will help you in your public speaking skills. Okay. And if we talk about the public speaking skills, it includes your voice modulation, the way you speak, the use of gestures, how confident you are. Why I'm saying confident? Because the confidence is something which makes you graceful. Okay. And when we talk of debates, usually the medium of speaking, the language is primarily kept English. But we'll talk about this aspect as well. If somebody is not fluent in English, then how you should convey your thoughts. Ultimately, if you're a budding lawyer, you must understand that it is not the language, but the communication of thoughts that matter. If you are unable to, let's say, phrase your words in English, switch the language. Ensure that you are able to convey your ideas. And that is the primary thing which is going to help you in any competition and even in the courtroom. Let's say if you're arguing at the later stage and you are unable to phrase your words, do not stick to only English primarily. Even if, let's say, you are participating in some competition, right? And there is this medium English only. In case you are unable to phrase your words, switch the language. Conveying the ideas outweigh the language skills, okay? Now, why law students should participate in debates? What do you guys think? Why, as a law student, debates are going to help you? What do you think? Would anybody like to answer this? You guys can raise your hand. Okay, I think people out there are a little shy. Sahil has raised the hand. Yes, Sahil, what do you think?
Simply, in the most simple possible way, it helps in critical thinking, and it helps you to understand and talk in the get-go without, if you have a problem right at your face in and you need a solution immediately, it helps you to do that. So it helps not only in critical thinking but in quick feet thinking. So it preps you for real life situations, especially in the courtrooms where you might be posed with a question immediately and you would need to answer the same.
Right. See, besides critical thinking and the things, litigation and all, whatever we are discussing, in case there are students who are not interested in the litigation, but let's say they want to go ahead in the corporate. So I believe most of you would be aware of this process that you have to appear in interviews, and the primary conditions are that you should have some sort of publications out there. Publication these days are mandatory, right? And when they'll take the interview, I have seen people asking certain questions, like let's say you have mentioned about some ABC course, they will ask you each and everything, like what were the things you have learned in all those respective 10 classes, 20 classes. Okay, let's say you are someone who was active in these extracurriculars, you will know how to answer instantly, how to deliver the impromptu answers. That is why debates and moot courts are the primary, you can say, the top competitions in which you should participate as a law student. So it is going to help you even after your law school life. And as I said, that employers and chambers value communication skills, and debating is one of the most effective ways to build your communication skills early. Instead of taking the PD classes, personality development classes at the later stage, you should simply start participating in competition in as much as you could, because these days we cannot simply rely on our law degree. Okay, it doesn't matter if you have, let's say, 70% marks or 80% marks. Marks are not going to help you. I have 80% marks, and the number that you get in your law school barely help you. It's just your communication skills and the research skills that you have. They outweigh the marks. Okay, even if somebody has scored, let's say, 50% during the semester exams, but he or she is very fluent. So those skills are gonna outweigh everything. Okay, whatever marks. Let's say there is a topper with 90% of marks, but has poor communication skills, is unaware of doing the basic research. Okay, so people barely give chances to those, especially if we talk about litigation. Okay, that's a harsh truth, but I think most of you would be aware that freshers rarely get chances. If you will get for an go for an internship anywhere, let's say for under a senior advocate or someone who has quite a few years of experience, so they will simply say that they don't have time to train you. It is not a law school. Okay, so they need someone who has some basic skills, somebody who can assist them while learning. Okay,
for
learning
the
is, yes. Is there anybody having any query? In case of any queries, let's reserve them by 6:50. Okay, we'll take up your queries by 6:50. I was telling you the importance of communication skills and how these competitions are gonna be helpful. I hope you have a basic idea how these things are gonna help. Now, let's say you have participated in a debate competition. What's the first thing you should do after getting a topic? You have your topic. What to do next? So, once you have a topic, try to understand the motion clearly, as in what side you would be speaking about. Try to expand the scope of your topic. How you can do so? Break down the topic into keywords. Let's say the topic is, should death penalty be abolished in India? So you have to clarify what scope is there. Of course, there's a legal angle. You guys are law students, so primarily legal angle is gonna be there. Then consider whether it deals with a social, policy-based, ethical, or it's some contemporary issue. Let's say if there was the topic regulate needs to regulate the AI. Okay. Now, when we will talk about AI, most of you will think of this IT Act which is there. Okay, we know it. But whenever you engage in the competition, you have to think about rest of the things, whether there are any proposed legislations as well. If I'm participating in any competition, let's say it's about AI, okay, need to regulate AI, whether there is a need or no need to regulate. Then of course we will talk about EU AI Act, that is one. But what about India? We don't have any explicit one. We don't have indeed, but there was a proposed legislation. This Digital India Act is there. It was a proposed one. So you have to delve into these details whenever you participate in the debate. Okay, break down your topic, try to understand its scope. Coming back to this example, it's a very easy topic. I believe all of you must have came across this question, especially the freshman year or penultimate year students. Should the death penalty be abolished in India? So we have to determine the scope of our topic first before you begin with the prep, be it as regards your arguments, opening statement, closing statement. Primarily understand that there would be a constitutional angle, right to life, of course. Human rights would be involved, criminology angles, all those theories, okay? What kind of theory would be here? This would be the scope of your topic. And thereafter, you will have to phrase the arguments that align in context of the scope, as in the areas which you have highlighted in the very beginning. This is the first step to think about the scope. Now, we know that we understood about our scope. What about the material? Where to study? Where to find some authentic stuff? Okay. What most of the students do these days is I've seen that once you have anything, be it any competition, and especially I've seen this in the moot courts as well, students simply jump into AI. We'll talk about AI, how you can use, to what extent you can use, but that is reserved for the last, I would say, 15 minutes of this discussion. Primarily, try to proceed with the primary sources that you have, okay? To study something which is authentic and genuine, you can refer to a few websites, or you can say platforms which are recognized by many, I'd say. We have Manupatra, SEC, Bar and Bench, Live Law. This Law Commission of India reports are there. Especially if you would talk about something contemporary, you will come across certain recommendations made by the Law Commission. We have respective websites of Supreme Courts and High Courts. Live Law is there. When you talk about this Indian Kanun, you will come across various judgments, okay, and the Barrett stuff is also there. But sometimes what I have seen, and most of my colleagues have also seen, that if you're referring to any judgment from Indian Kanun, try to ensure, or let's say recheck the same, whether this judgment exists or it has been overruled or something. Okay, check the status of that judgment if you're proceeding with this Indian Kanun. Besides that, we have case mine as well. Okay, but I think as a beginner, you can opt for live law. Live Law is yes subscription based, but recently they had some offer to get a 5-year subscription or 6-year subscription something. Even if you will opt for a yearly one, it is gonna cost almost as same as the Hindu online version. So maybe you guys can go Dutch and get a subscription of Live Law to find the authentic information. Now let's say you are unable to afford the same. So what you can do is whatever articles you simply read on Live Law, now most of the times if you will copy the title on Google, you'll come across any of the judgment from Supreme Court or High Court. This is as regards the judgments. Okay. You will come across the PDFs uploaded on the respective court websites. Now, we are talking about debates, the arguments, but why you should do research? To answer this question, see, if you will have good skills, then you will get an opportunity to grab some good internships. Especially if we talk about your career these days, you cannot simply say that I have, let's say, expertise in legal research, or when we talk about area of interest. Now, even if you will say that I have my area of interest, let's say IT law, okay, information technology, let's say, okay, I have interest in cyber laws and all, saying that is primarily not sufficient. You have to, let's say, add a few more things to it. If you're talking about cyber law, you must be well equipped with the data protection, and there should be some other angles as well. That besides that primary area of interest, I also have interest in A, B, and C fuel. Likewise, if you want to learn about this argument building, you cannot simply say that I have good research skills, so I can write good arguments, be it in your debate or moot court. You have to ensure that besides the research part, you are a good public speaker. That is another thing. And if you will be able to do good research at the later stage, once you are a law grad, it is going to help you in client counseling, providing memo briefs, okay, in, let's say, filtering out or proofreading the information. Especially once you will become a lawyer, you will not have enough time to proofread. Okay, then you will be able to scan the respective content, because you will know what is the authentic piece of information, what is required and what is not required. Okay. Now, we have been talking about debates, that it is important to participate in debate. Debates are going to help you to become a good public speaker. Now, let's break down the stages of a debate. This is the flow of a debate, usually, okay, unless until there is any other instructions. Primarily, there is opening statement. You don't directly jump off by arguments, okay? There is a short speech kind of a thing, which is given by the respective parties, or you can say participants. How many of you are well versed with these stages? You can answer in the chat box whether you guys are aware of these stages, the flow of a debate. You can answer in the chat box. Y for yes, N for no. Yes, guys, quickly respond in the chat box. Are you guys well versed with these stages? Opening statement, arguments, rebuttals, closing statements. Okay. Some of you are not aware of these stages. So when we talk about the debates, primarily you will have the opening statements. Okay. Now, in the opening statements, there will be like a short speech. Taking the example of, let's say, death penalty. If you are in favor of the motion, you can give, let's say, 3 to 4 sentence long speech, something like, of course, greetings first, honorable judges, and my dear friends. Today, I'd like to raise the motion in favor of abolition of the death sentence in India. Okay. Although we have this constitutional democracy, it is not retributive, something like this. Okay, it violates this and that. Okay, it should not be there. Whatever reasons are there, you give a very concise speech about it. All the arguments which you're gonna have, You just cite your arguments in the opening statement. You don't proceed with a description. So the opening statement is more like a very concise speech. Okay, concise speech. It's not a summary. The summary part is the closing statements. It is, you can say, the intro of your motion of your site that you have chosen. Okay, then once you have mentioned them there in the opening statement, under the next stage in the arguments, you describe them. Whatever pointers you have, you explain them, and how you have to frame your arguments, what should be your approach as regards the sentence structure, will come to that. Okay, what approach, what evidence-based sentence structure you can proceed with, we'll discuss about that in the next 10 minutes. Once you are done with your arguments, the other party would bring in their counter arguments, and thereafter you will have this Q&A round, questions or some new facts which could be brought up. Those are called rebuttals. Once both the parties are done with the arguments and counter arguments, of course, then they give a very short summary. Okay, that summarized speech is what we call closing arguments. Okay, and usually this closing speech is framed instantly. It is more like impromptu one. Okay, you cannot prepare it beforehand. Of course, you can plan it, but you will have to eventually redo it at the later stage based on the counter arguments of the other party. So that is the summary here. And opening statement is like a short speech in which you mention your arguments, okay, in a very concise way. You explain them here in the second stage. I hope the basic stages are clear. These four are the primary stages. Thereafter, based on that, there is the decision of the respective bench. And usually your closing statement includes a call to action or a plea. Okay, if you want to persuade your audience, there would be a call to action. Okay, please, okay, do this and that. That is what we call to action. You want your audience to do something. Okay, if you want to make a formal request, that is simply what we call plea. So it is there, CTA and plea is there in the closing state. That's about the stages of a debate. Now, as regards the details, whatever we have discussed, you will come across this content. The respective host will share it with you. Opening statement is a very short speech, the very first step once you have the stage. Okay, you give a very concise idea as to what you're going to talk about. Once you are done with that, okay, your audience is aware what side you have chosen. Then you proceed with your arguments and counter arguments. And you have to proceed in a reflective style. What I mean by reflective style is there should be certain evidences, case laws, statistics, and reasoning. Okay, for instance, instead of saying that death penalty is not in trend these days, that's a very vague statement. What's the proof of that? Okay, then you can talk about the respective trends that are there after this 1970s once India has signed this. Okay, there is this convention which India signed, and afterwards you will be able to see that initially there used to be the number was higher, okay, not the execution, the death sentences that were awarded. But thereafter there was a fall, okay, besides the RORC principle that we have. So you're gonna talk about these kind of things. What is the impact of conventions? Okay, how many countries have abolished it? Okay, for all the offenses, for a few ones. These kind of sentences are meant to be there, whichever, okay, argument you're gonna frame. There should be a reflective style. That is, instead of vague sentences, the sentences includes evidences or case laws or some data-driven approaches there to prove your points. Okay, arguments is simply what you present. Counter arguments would be the other party's arguments, what claims they are making. As regards rebuttals, those are called, you can say, question answers. Okay, some new pointers, they will come under here. And closing statements, as I said earlier, is a sum. Now, let's talk about the art of arguing. What are the things we have to take care of when we argue in our debate? Okay, we are done with the first step. We know the scope of our topic. Okay, what areas would come in here. Thereafter, we will follow the genuine sources, the authentic sources. In case you don't have a paid subscription, I've already told you to, okay, just search that topic directly on Google. You will come across some relevant stuff. Herein, I'm not giving you tips as regards using ChatGPT. Of course, there are students who will simply copy the entire topic on ChatGPT and get the respective content. You can do that, but you have to fact check your info. We'll discuss about that in next 5 minutes. When you frame your arguments, you can follow this CEI method: claim, evidence, impact. Okay, state your points. Let's say there has been a decrease in the number of death sentences since 1980s. That is my claim. How will I prove that there is this decrease? I will tell about the respective statistics. Okay, that in the past 3 decades, these many death sentences were awarded, while from the year 1960 to 70s, n number of were awarded only. Okay, I can draw a comparative analysis. So all those statistics and all which prove my claim would be the second, okay, supportive sentence. Thereafter, I can also talk about the impact. Impact not on the not of the death sentence, that is for sure, but the impact it has on the society. Okay, whether we are getting a respective outcome out of this method of punishment or not. Okay, so what is the impact of that? Now somebody is asking for the example of rebuttal. Okay, let's say there is this there is this, okay, question somebody has asked you as regards against abolition. Okay, now it could be that, let's say the proposition has argued for human rights, okay, that death penalty should not be there because, okay, it is, let's say, in contrast of the human rights. So somebody could propose a, let's say, counter question. How can you say so? Okay, take the example of, for instance, AP saying this remark. It is very famous when you read about this death sentence and all. Okay, Justice AP Sen once compared the accused with vegetables. Okay, that once somebody has, okay, inferred with somebody else's human rights, okay, they should not be given this opportunity. So you can bring in these kind of statements in here, that why would you favor an accused who has already, okay, let's say, infringed somebody else's human rights? Why are you favoring them? Okay, or let's say in rebuttals, if somebody is saying that yes, death sentence should be abolished, you can bring some data driven questions. Of course, there is this Shatrughan Chauhan's case of 2013. Okay, you can frame a question that, are you saying this as regards human rights, because human rights are in trend as affirmed by Supreme Court in the case of Shatrughan Chauhan in the year 2023. So whatever, like, let's say, questions you are asking to the other party, what is the basis of your argument? Okay, you are asking some questions to them as regards why they said so. That is what you can call rebuttals. Okay, Kapil. Something in the moot courts as well, you have rebuttals. I hope it is clear what are rebuttals. Any sort of questions that the other party would ask. Okay, that is rebuttals. Now we were at the second step, basically arguments. So there has to be CEI method: claim, evidence, impact, or you can say your statement is there. Okay, then you have to support the statement with what reasons why you are saying something. Okay, if there would be this reasoned based, or let's say data driven approach, then you will come across some easy questions in the rebuttals. Okay, because usually this reasoned based response will assist you in, framing the arguments which are stronger and perfect. Okay. Don't go ahead with basic, or let's say very beginner friendly arguments that you are simply telling them your claim instead of proving it. Okay. And moreover, your arguments should not be burnt. When I talk about the burnt arguments, you must have seen this in the court. If anybody amongst you has been to, let's say, district court and all, sometimes what happens is the other party, I'm talking about the cases, okay, here, not the debates. They either, let's say, start speaking in a very loud pitch, okay, very higher pitch, or they would, let's say, try to downgrade the other person. That is what makes it a burnt argument, that you are so unsure or dubious of your content that you are crossing the boundary. Okay, you are just stepping ahead and insulting the other person. You don't have to do that. Maintain your etiquettes, okay, whenever you are arguing. That is another tip. After the CEI method, okay, ensure that you pre-plan your arguments, just like we do in the moot court competitions. Now think what the other party would say, and choose 3 to 4 strong arguments only. Ultimately, it doesn't matter the number of arguments you have, but what kind of content and authentic content that you have. And while arguing, ensure that you are not simply reading from your notes. Be presentable, graceful, maintain a good posture out there. You should not be slouching on your chair or even if you're standing. Okay. Maintain an eye contact. How will you maintain an eye contact with, let's say, 100 people? So for that, primarily look towards the center. And as you are speaking, move your head towards the left and right. This is going to help you in making an eye contact with the mass. Thereafter, listen actively. Whom you have to listen to the other party so that you can frame the questions as regards the stage of rebuttals. I hope the basic tips are clear as to what you should do to frame good arguments. Type Y in the chat box if it's clear. Great. Now, what you don't have to do. Don't ramble around or let's say beat around the bush. Okay. If you are not able to bring in, let's say, data, try to support it with some case law in which it has been affirmed by Supreme Court, if not Supreme Court, any High Court. Okay. Thereafter, in case there is no such data as well, you can bring some rational statement. Take the example of this dog ban, for instance. Okay, there was this chaos in Delhi as regards the relocation of dogs. Okay, now let's say in my arguments, I've said the dog lovers should simply take dogs to their homes. Okay, if they love them so much. Now, this seems like a very general statement influenced by my emotions. Okay, in most of the cases, it will look so. But let's say the very next sentence is as said by Justice so and so in Kerala High Court. So there was one of the petitions which was filed in the south. I'm not sure whether it was Kerala or Karnataka, but this remark was made by a respective justice. Okay, now I have this evidence that supports my claim. Okay, this is how your arguments would be shaped by data. Very first instance was a very generic, just a mere claim. But the moment I supported my claim, it became a little stronger. Okay, that is the importance of data. Then do not get personal or emotional. Okay, be professional as you are speaking. Do not disrespect the other party. As I said, do not use a highly loud pitch or remarks as regards their body or appearance. And do not use weak sources, or let's say do not study from WhatsApp University or merely relying upon ChatGPT is also not advisable. I'll tell you guys why it's not advisable to solely rely on AI. Thereafter, do not repeat the content. Less content would be better than the repetitive content. And do not use jargons. Jargons as in some fancy words. Let's say there is a sentence, semiconductors are tiny objects. So instead of saying the semiconductors are tiny, I said that semiconductors are minuscule in size. Minuscule word is not required. I can go ahead with the simpler words. It is not some fancy vocab or fluency competitions. It's just a competition which will judge your knowledge. And in this legal profession, your knowledge is something which is gonna matter, not the grades. Okay. It's the knowledge followed by how good you are at public speaking. And in the ambit of public speaking, your speaking skills, of course, along with the body language is included. It helps you in litigation and in the corporate sector. Now, everybody's most awaited question, I would say. Can you use AI in arguments? If yes, to what extent? Which one would be the best? Google, of course, when we didn't have this chat GPT, all of us used to simply search on Google. We used to scroll through different blogs to find the information. These days, you have chat GPT. Those who have this Airtel would have access to Perplexity. We have cloud. N number of AI tools are there. Now, if you want to do research, I'll advise you to go ahead with the primary approach. Okay. But if you are relying on AI, ensure that you fact check the information. Because I have seen students make some minor mistakes merely because they didn't fact check. If you have less time, of course, you will jump to AI. Everybody is using you, so should you. But make a smarter use of AI. Okay. Use it wisely. And then comes a question that everybody is using AI, why can't I? Of course you can. And besides that, you can use the old school research methods as well. Okay. Try to back up your claims with whatever context is there in the books. Okay. But of course, you will not get everything in the books and libraries. And besides those traditional means, AI-based assistance should be the secondary approach. Okay, you should not give primary preference to whatever content you are getting from AI. Ultimately, AI is a tool, not your assistant or a lawyer. Okay, use it as a tool. Do not trust it blindly. Okay, you must have read the news that there was some, I think, attorney who was, I think his license was cancelled because he used this AI. It's some Western case out there. But so was a warning which was given to a civil judge, junior civil judge in the South. Okay. We have various high courts who have given guidelines as regards the use of AI. Supreme Court has given, of course. Besides that, Punjab and Haryana High Court and the Karnataka High Court has also given the guidelines as regards the use of AI. Okay. So make a limited use because the ultimate strength would lie in the authentic research and critical thinking. Let's say you are interning, you cannot give your senior some AI driven, brief. There was this meme circulating on the internet quite a few months ago that the petitioner comes with clean hands and he has washed off his hands with Dettol, something like this. Okay. So these kind of mechanical errors could be there. There is a scope of these errors. Okay. You have to rectify these things to ensure that you are making a smarter use of AI, especially in the debate competition. Brainstorm the ideas, follow the initial steps as we have discussed in the beginning. Fact check everything manually. I'll tell you why fact check. Sometimes you will get the accurate data. Okay, let's say 80% of something happened by 2024 is written. What I have seen is sometimes there is this variation in the year, and sometimes the numbers could vary. Instead of 80%, the numbers would be, let's say, 76 or let's say 79%. But if there is even a slight variation, then your argument could be flagged. In the debate competition, nobody may be there to fact check your info, but you should fact check for your longer run. Okay, even if you're participating in any, let's say, moot court competition, do not rely on the data from AI. Now, how you will fact check whatever sentence is there, okay, that respective single sentence, copy it on Google, okay. Google will filter out the information for you. You will come across the related blogs or articles if there are any. Okay. So read those related blogs or articles and then refer to them to make your arguments. And do not rely on AI generated citations. You can use AI to polish your language. How polish and do not decide the content using AI, I'll tell you. If you will generate any article or some arguments, there are certain favorite words of AI, like this so and so article will delve into intricacies of. You have to avoid these kind of words. Paraphrase it in your own language instead of using the so and so humanizer to paraphrase your arguments. Most importantly, if you will generate the content using AI, you will not come across the transition words. So let's say you are not using a paper, you have generated the content through AI, you have memorized everything, and you are arguing in a respective debate competition. So the tone is gonna remain mechanical. So ensure there are some transition words. The use of transition words as in some words that connect your sentences with one another. If you are listing out some number of things, okay, use the transition words like firstly, secondly, thirdly. If there are two aspects which you're going to emphasize upon, use the words like primarily, I would like to emphasize, thereafter, moreover, these kind of words, whatever words connect your sentences. And stay updated beyond AI. Keep your own critical thinking active. These are a few tips as regards the use of AI in debates. Now, I'd like to know whether you guys have any doubts as regards framing your arguments. About the idea, we have another session lined up. You don't have to worry about that. This session was meant to emphasize more on the debates and the skill of framing arguments. Okay, Subhashri is asking for attendance. Don't worry, Subhashri, the host is there to guide you as regards attendance. Don't worry. She must have recorded the attendance. Any queries as regards the use of AI, guys? Or you can tell me which AI tool you guys are using these days. We have multiple tools. Which one is your favorite? We'll wait for 2 minutes. Thereafter, Baha, you may proceed ahead. Okay, ChatGPT Premium. Even if you have some premium tools, like ChatGPT Premium or Perplexity Premium, do fact check the info. Gemini and ChatGPT. Okay. All right. So that's, I think it. Nobody is having any queries. Thank you so much, guys, for being such good listeners. And I would like to encourage you guys to participate in the competitions in as much as you could, be it offline or I'd say onlines are best actually, because in the offline competitions you have to take care of the commute and accommodation charges and all. Online ones are best. I mean, do not simply rely on whatever you are doing in the law school. You have to do something extra. All your batchmates are doing the same. You have to outshine. Okay, this is a yes word, outshine others. Then only you will land on opportunities. Okay, we have lakhs of students in line in the competitive exams. What is going to matter is what extra stuff you did. That is why we have the word extracurricular activities. What else you are doing besides the academic stuff. Numbers are never going to help you. I have 80% during my law school. Being a university topper, it favored me nowhere. Anything that helped me is solely my communication skills and the number of competitions I participated in. So besides the online courses, of course. Okay. Someone is asking about the mode of debate, like parliament or otherwise. See, usually this was as regards the general debate. Parliamentary debates and MUNs are different. You have to be very much formal. And yes, in the MUNs, I advise you guys to be fluent, okay? Not use jargons, but try to be in as much fluent as you can. And if there is a respective medium of language in those MUNs, you should adhere to that, okay, requirement to get good marks. And about the PPT, the host will share it with you. All right. These were the only queries, Bara. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank
I'd
you
like
so
to
much,
take.
ma'am. Thank you. We all are very thankful to you for sharing your insights and your experience with us today.
Thank you.
So, everybody, before we move ahead now, I would like to hear from all of you in the chat box. How are you feeling about your debate skills now? Are you feeling more confident? Are you feeling more curious? Are you even excited to put all the tips that ma'am told you into your debate and into your practice? Please tell us this in the chat box. We would absolutely love to know. We will take 5 seconds for everybody to say how it was and how excited you guys are. Thank you so much, Adarsh, for that comment. We wish you all the best. I think that's about it. So, moving further on, we are, all of us at Canonsphere are very thrilled to share some exciting news with all of you. We are here at Canonsphere, we are organizing 3 power-packed opportunities for all of you. The first being the RTI course, the second being the AIBE 20 course, and a debate competition. All of these are going to be aimed at enhancing your legal knowledge, boosting your confidence, and giving you a platform to apply what you learned today in a differently practical setting. Whether you're looking to master the RTI process or you're trying to prepare strategically for the AIB 20 or challenge yourself through a competitive debating, this is your chance. Before we wrap up today's session, we are really thrilled to have been sharing these 3 exciting modes with you. So the first being, like I mentioned, the debate competition. It's going to be happening on 4th October and 5th October 2025. And all you can see on the screen, here is the registration process. The registration process and fees are on your screen right now. It would be that if you're doing it on an individual basis, your registration fee would be 100. And if you're participating as a team, your registration fee will be 150. The mode is going to be online. And the best part is that the top 3 winners, the first one will be receiving a cash prize of ₹1,000 plus a trophy plus a certificate. The runner-up will be given a cash prize of ₹800 plus a trophy plus a certificate. The second runner-up also will be receiving a trophy and a certificate from Canonsphere. There are going to be free certificates for all of the participants. And there is an exclusive 20% discount on Canonsphere's contract drafting course also. The second that I'm talking about is the right to information, the RTI Masterly Drafting Request and Appeals class. In this particular course, this course will be held online. The duration of the course will be 1 month. There are going to be 4 modules with an MCQ attached to it. There is also going to be a practical assignment that you would have to do. There are going to be 2 career counseling sessions throughout this entire month, and the fee is just ₹500. I'm telling you from personal experience also, this is your chance to do really better in your law field. So why should you register in this? My personal expertise is not going to be enough. First of all, this is going to help you master the RTI process. It will help you learn how to draft an effective RTI applications and appeals step by step. Second, it will give you practical exposure. It will help you understand how the RTI works in real life and how you will use it to access valuable information. Thirdly, for all of us students, it's going to be a really good addition and it will boost your CV. It will help you to showcase your knowledge of transparency and accountability tools. The last being, it is for your own self. It is for you to empower yourself. Then we have the third thing, the AIB 20 crash course. In this crash course, there are going to be mock test series. There's going to be an entirety of 43 tests. There are going to be 4 modules. There are going to be workshops and 4 live sessions and 2 counseling sessions. And the course fee is just 500. So again, the question arises, why should you register in this in the first place? This AIB 20 course will help you gain a strategic preparation for the exam. Here at Canonsphere, you will get a guided strategy on how to crack AIB 20 with confidence. We were going to be providing you with much more focused content. Here, you'll be learning through modules, quizzes, and mock tests that are specifically designed to match the exam pattern. Also, you will be receiving expert guidance from our mentors. Here, you will gain insights and tips from experienced legal professionals. And it's a certified achievement. You can add this to your CV as a recognized course to your profile, and it will reach you a step closer to clearing the AIB exam. So the last thing that is the most important, the most exciting, we are offering all of you a discount. There's going to be an exclusive offer for our community members who have joined Canonsphere. They're going to be enjoying a 20% discount on the RTI course, the AIBE course, and the registration for the debate competition. So I implore all of you to do not miss this chance to level up your preparation, showcase your skills, and you will save big. But this special offer is only valid for the next 24 hours after this session ends. So really, please don't miss out on it. It's an amazing opportunity for all of you. But make sure that the seats are limited. Please make sure of that. Also, we have giveaways from all of you. Now, if you participate actively in the research toolkit argument and building guide session, you actually have a chance to win exclusive prizes. And all of these prizes are specifically designed to sharpen your research, reasoning, and argument building skills. This is your chance to claim your certificate, complete the feedback form. The mentors will be sharing the feedback form in the group chat in the next minute. And please, everybody, make sure that the certificate of participations will be only emailed to those people who attend the guest lectures and complete the feedback form. So please do not miss this opportunity. Share your feedback and claim your certificate. It's going to be an amazing addition to your CV. Ma'am will be sharing the feedback form in the chat box in the next minute. Ma'am has shared the feedback form. So again, please everybody note that the only people who will be receiving a certificate for today's session are the ones who will fill this feedback form. Besides that, no matter how long you've sat in the session, you will not be receiving a certificate from us. I hope that everybody can see the feedback form. So please fill the feedback form right now if you can. It will be a huge help to all of you. So I really hope that you all have filled the feedback form by now. So with this, we conclude today's guest lecture. See you all in the next session. All of us here at Canonsphere are extremely thankful to all of you for being here today. And until the next
We're
session
just waiting
arrives,
for only 4-5 minutes, guys. So fill the feedback form as soon as possible. Then we end the meeting. Just you have only 4-5 minutes.
like Ma'am said, we are just going to be waiting till the end of the session. It's going to be hardly 3 or 4 minutes more. I am again letting you all know as a student myself, this is going to be a really good addition to your CV, your LinkedIn, and this certificate of participation is really important. So with that, we conclude today's guest lecture. See you all in the next session. And until then, I implore all of you and I encourage all of you to keep researching, keep debating, and keep growing with Canonsphere. Thank you all so much for attending today's session. We're going to be waiting 1 more minute for everybody to fill the feedback form, and then we'll end the session altogether. I again thank you all for joining today's session. Good night, everybody.
Hello, ma'am, are you there? Hello. Ma'am, it is not submitting.
It's working. I get the submissions. I check that from the form is working. Those who are facing issue not the submit, just now message on my personal chat so I get share the another form to you guys. And those who submit, then please leave the meeting. Thank you. Thank you. Those who are facing the issues, you can message on my personal chat. Okay, now I'm ending the meeting. So thank you guys. Thank you so much to join the session. Thank you.